This review covers the Warlock. It's a Dodge step-side pickup. It's a 125 scale kit from MPC number 983. It's a skill level 2 kit for the intermediate builder, released in 2023. As with all kits, this one has a few issues that we'll describe in detail so that you can avoid the pitfalls therein and produce the best possible model. We'll show you how to get over those issues and fix them. One of the big issues here are the decals. They're just so large that they require special handling. Then there's an oil pan modification that you may need to do for the bigger version. Unwanted seams, parting lines, pin marks, and the side views are difficult to mount. We'll show you how to make that a little easier. It also has some pretty good highlights, accessory items, custom wheels, sidewall script enhancements, and there's a rare OEM custom pickup as the subject matter, which is always kind of the king. Also has undocumented parts to build another version. And we'll get into all those details so you can make the best possible model. Being a single-purpose offering to replicate the Dodge Warlock pickups, which back then were known as trick trucks, and they were built, by the way, by Dodge from 77 to 79. Black was the most popular color, and less than 2,000 were made, including a rare 440 V8 version. You won't have many parts left over for your parts stash, but if you're looking for a replica of this iconic pickup, this is a really nice representative model kit for that purpose. The kit was originally released in 1977 as Kit 0417, and it's been released numerous times since then in various liveries, and again most recently here in 2024. You see here the original box art, which looks almost identical to the newly re-released version. This kit contains 135 parts molded in white, chrome, and clear, and it features hollow off-road tires with really good tread and sidewall detail. And the wheels are molded in a custom metallic gold. It offers a V8 powerhouse, textured bed rails, opening tailgate, and a 4x4 suspension with authentic decals. And when you're done, the kit measures about 8 inches long, 3.5 inches wide, and 3 inches high. Here are the parts to build the kit. As you can see, it's a nice clean design. There's very little flash. The chrome is just about right, with not looking too toy-like. The windows are pretty clear, even though they're a little thick. It does sport a metal axle, and as you can see, the decal sheet there is a nice clean copy of the original, so it'll be a nice kit to build. Now this kit is meant as a 4x4 version, and there are, however, the parts to build a two-wheel drive version in it. There's nothing in the instructions about them. They are undocumented parts, but they're easy to figure out if you've got a basic automotive knowledge. Now the street tires from your spare parts would have to be used if you're going to build the two-wheel drive version. And here you see the black piece on the oil pan there. That is a filler piece that is an additional part in the kit, and it's used to add a larger capacity to the oil pan. So get that out and glue that into position on the oil pan to build the 4x4 part. Now here you see the parts to build the engine. That's where you'll start construction. The metal parts are a gunmetal type steel color, and the blue for the heads, oil pan, and the block. Go ahead and assemble the engine. There's no surprises there. It goes together well. And then the front piece, of course, is blue, along with the attached oil filter and the distributor. And we're going to add the chrome valve covers. Next up is, of course, the fan pieces, carburetor, and the intake. They're all in standard color, and they go together pretty well. Just remember to scrape the paint or chrome from parts you want to glue together. And if you have any questions, the instructions are in the back for placement, etc. So the engine bay here, painted in semi-gloss black, and the rest of the lower chassis and the frame painted in flat black. But what we're going to do here, as you see, is to test fit the engine to make sure that it's sitting flat and level, and locating the motor mounts. You'll want to scrape the paint off there when you glue it into the chassis later on. Next, we'll add the cross member for the four-wheel drive version. You see it semi-gloss black there in the front, and it gets glued into the frame there where the red arrow is pointing. Next, you can add the engine to the chassis. Make sure that it's sitting in there firmly and pressed firmly onto the motor mounts and is sitting straight up and down for a good fit. Now we'll work on the wheel assemblies. The backing inner portion of the wheel is painted flat black, and as you can see, those really nice gold wheels are ready, those spoked wheels. Now these are pretty aggressive desert dogs, and the tires and wheels go together fairly easy. You simply glue the fronts to the backs, and then they are perfect for detailing, because the sidewall lettering, the script there, is pronounced enough so that you can just do a little dry brushing and bring out the script there. That really will set off your model. Also a little black wash on the lug nuts, and she's a real nice looking display. Now we're going to work on the under chassis, and as you can see, the fuel tank's been painted aluminum color with some black straps on it. And of course the usual colors for the rest. We got some gunmetal on the rear springs, a gloss black for the differential. I painted the shocks yellow, but that's up to you. Silver tones and aluminum mufflers, and then we have to stage the tires for after that's assembled. You'll want to add the exhaust next. The forward portion connects to the exhaust manifolds of the engine, and then there are places to pop the exhaust into position. And then we'll add the rest. After you get those in place, then the transfer case, drive shafts, and the front axles are assembled according to the instructions. And like I said, they're at the back of the review if you want to review those. Now it's time to detail the battery and the core support and the radiator hose, etc., and get the wheels ready with the axles. And once those are dry, you can go ahead and assemble those to the chassis. Next, it's time to work on the interior, and as you can see, the dash is one piece. It also has a nice decal for the instrument gauges, etc., with pinstriping. And you can add a little bit of bling to this, although the whole thing is rather nondescript. It has two pads that go in the center between the seats, upright in the back and on the base there. And you've got some chrome appointments. You can add a little chrome detailing, and there's a couple of door handles that you can use to bring out a little bit of the detail in the interior. So now it's time to get out that body, and we'll start working on that. You see marked in red here some parting lines. You'll want to remove those. They're pretty easy to sand off. There's also it kind of extends around and causes or adds what we call a drip rail, so you can go ahead and leave those. And that line right there, that is correct. That's part of the body sections, so you can leave that in place as well, pointed out by the red arrow. With the parting lines seams cleaned up, and look for any other imperfections, any light flash or light sink marks, etc. Clean those up, and now it's time to remove the center brace there between the fenders. I like to leave those on to make sure that you don't damage the body with handling, until it's time to actually paint the body. Just clip it off at the edges and sand them smooth. The tailgate has some ejector pin marks that are pretty noticeable, and you want to probably fill those in with some putty and smooth that off for a nice finish for when you drop the tailgate, because they'll be visible. So after preparing the cab and the related parts, you see the firewall there. They get painted a gloss black, and I think that it was the most popular color. However, the Warlocks did come in black, red, green, and orange, but black was the most common, and it really looks great with the gold pinstriping, which they all had. So after you've got it all dried, you can add the glass, window glass in the interior and the firewall, and put those in place. So now here's the probably most difficult part of this build. We're going to add the decals. these decals are huge, but most of them are just clear. Now, for the side decals here, around the fenders and the door, I cut out the area around the door handles because they wouldn't lay down very well in those wells. So I trimmed out the handle area and left the rest with the sides covered with the decal. Now the trick here, use plenty of warm water. Make sure that you get it into position before you use a cotton swab or a light cloth to smooth it out, but still make sure you've got some water there to position your decal and stretch it out so that it's all flat. Now the side mirrors are going to be kind of hard to glue in with the decals in place, so I solved this problem by attaching a pin to the base of the mirror, and I used a pin vise and drill with a small bit to add a hole in the doors to locate those mirrors for a good attachment point later on. And now you see the completed cab, and it's ready to mount to the chassis. Look for the mounting points, scrape off the paint there, and use some strong glue. Make sure that it's flush and flat where you assemble it. Also, we're going to add the grille, of course, and it gets black wash treatment around the headlights, parking lights, and the grille insets there to give it a little definition and realism. Now it's time for the bed, and of course that was painted at the same time as the cab. Now paint the bed floor wood tones and also the rails, and then we're going to add the strip decals to the bed, and you have to use patience. They'll kind of flop around. Use a lot of water there, warm water, to put them in position, and then smooth them out, get any bubbles, etc. out of them. Make sure they're straight on the rails. A little patience and you'll have a nice looking bed there. You see the tailgate with the decal on it, and also some chrome accessory pieces back there. Okay, now we'll add the chrome mirrors, and they're a little fiddly to assemble, but that's how they really are. Also remember, we put a little hole there to locate the mirrors to make it a little easier to position those. You see them later. And we've also got to stress that the hood decal is a bit tricky. You can try and put it in place all in one piece and use a significant amount of setting solution to get it to seep into the features there, but I actually cut the center out, and using a lot of warm water, somehow I was able to position that thing all the way around to avoid those depressions, to try and get them to fit the decal to fit into them. You can also, in fact, cut out the center and then segment these stripes and piece them together at the ends. There's no real easy way to do it. It's going to take patience, plenty of warm water to put into position, but it can be done. You also may want to make sure that it gets smoothed out properly and in place using, once again, plenty of warm water. There are some leftover pieces, as you see here, much of them for the two-wheel drive version, including those nice looking wheels. Also some decals, and there are some accessory parts like a tire jack, and there's a toolbox. There's even a CB radio for the interior, which was pretty popular back in those days. So there are some extra pieces, although not many of them will actually work with other kits, but you could make the two-wheel drive version of this truck out of the extra parts there too. Well, there you have it. Your model's complete, and it's a great looking replica of the actual Warlock series of trucks that Dodge made back in the 70s, and it's got some stunning appointments. Those gold wheels are just awesome, with a wooden bed rails. That's kind of unusual for a factory pickup, but as you can see, with some patience to apply the decals, the pinstripes really set this car off, especially in the gloss black version. And if you Think that this is something that you might like to build. It's actually not too hard of a build per se by itself. Just use plenty of warm water for those decals. Once again, you could make the two-wheel drive version out of it if you care to. And if I were you, I'd buy one and put it on my shelf.
Thanks for joining us at Right On Replicas, where we're proud to bring you the best scale model kit reviews on the planet.
This review is brought to you in part by Ryder's Hobby Shops, where the fun begins. Stop in to one of Ryder's 2 convenient Michigan locations, where you'll find a full range of the latest hobby products, supplies, parts, tools, and paint. You'll find aisles and aisles of scale model kits, RC models, model rockets, Warhammer gaming, and railroading products. Stop in at Ryder's today and tell them Doug sent you.